Dawn breaks over an empty tomb, the stone door cast aside, revealing only shadows within. Mary Magdalene arrives, her face a mask of grief, as she approaches the tomb's entrance. She peers into the darkness and discovers the tomb is empty, her heart pounding with dread. A wave of panic washes over her as the reality of the empty tomb sinks in. Driven by desperation and fear, Mary Magdalene turns and runs to find Peter and John. Her silhouette races against the rising sun, carrying a message that will change everything. As dawn breaks, the garden awakens in gentle light. Where Mary Magdalene wanders, her sorrow a tangible presence. A claymation figure of Jesus stands distant, unrecognized amidst the tranquil garden. Jesus' voice cuts through her grief. "Woman, why are you crying? Who is it you are looking for?" A single word, a gentle revelation. "Mary." Dim light casts long shadows across the upper room, amplifying the disciples' unease. Fear grips the room as the doors remain bolted, sealing the disciples within their dread. A sudden presence shatters the stillness. Jesus appears, an unexpected vision amidst their terror. The disciples recoil in disbelief at the sight of Jesus, their claymation forms capturing every nuance of shock. Amidst the unfolding revelation, one is conspicuously absent. Thomas is not among them. A week later, candlelight flickers across the faces of the disciples, gathered once more in the upper room. This time, Thomas is among them, a palpable sense of anticipation filling the air. Suddenly, a figure appears, bathed in light, filling the room with awe. Jesus speaks, his voice gentle yet commanding. "Put your finger here, see my hands. Reach out your hand and put it into my side. Stop doubting and believe." Thomas, his eyes wide with disbelief, looks towards Jesus. Thomas believes. The Sea of Tiberias awakens as dawn paints the sky, its light softly illuminating a small wooden boat adrift on the tranquil waters. Exhausted, the disciples huddle within the boat, their faces reflecting the weariness of a fruitless night. A figure appears on the distant shore, his presence barely discernible through the awakening light. The figure gestures, his voice carrying faintly across the water. "Cast your net on the right side of the boat, and you will find some." The disciples emerge from the sea, their sandals sinking into the wet sand as a comforting aroma envelops them. A charcoal fire crackles merrily, promising warmth and sustenance with fish sizzling alongside freshly baked bread. Jesus gestures towards the inviting scene, beckoning his followers to join in fellowship and break bread together. Jesus asks, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter responds, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus instructs, "Feed my lambs." Again, Jesus asks, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter replies, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus commands, "Take care of my sheep." For the final time, Jesus probes, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter, with heartfelt sincerity, affirms, "Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you." Jesus concludes, "Feed my sheep." Under the expansive Galilean sky, Jesus stands resolute, the wind whispering secrets through the ancient trees. Before him, the 11 disciples stand in awe, their faces reflecting a mix of hope and uncertainty. With divine purpose, Jesus begins to speak, his words echoing with eternal significance. "Go and make disciples of all nations." His voice resonates across the serene landscape, commanding, "Baptizing them in the name of the Father." The air stills as he continues, "And of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit." The disciples listen intently, their hearts stirred by the power of his words, ready to embark on their sacred mission. Under the afternoon sun, Cleopas and his companion trudge along the dusty road to Emmaus, lost in deep thought. A figure approaches them from behind, unnoticed. Jesus inquires, "What are you discussing so intently as you walk along?" Cleopas responds with surprise, "Are you the only visitor to Jerusalem who does not know the things that have happened there in these days?" Jesus asks, his voice gentle yet probing. "What things?" With heavy hearts, Cleopas recounts the events. "Concerning Jesus of Nazareth, we were hoping that it was he who was going to redeem Israel. As the sun dips low, Its golden light warms the room, beckoning Jesus to join the two disciples at their humble table. With grace, Jesus accepts their heartfelt invitation, a silent promise hanging in the air. In a moment of divine ritual, Jesus takes the bread, his touch imbuing it with sacred blessing. He breaks the bread, a symbolic gesture that shatters the veil of the ordinary, offering a glimpse of the extraordinary. As he gives the bread to them, recognition flares in their eyes, a sudden, overwhelming realization. Their eyes are opened, and they recognize him. But in that very instant of recognition, he vanishes, leaving them in stunned silence. In an upper room in Jerusalem, two disciples explode with exhilaration. Their faces are flushed with excitement, their breathless recount filling the room. The room buzzes with anticipation as the others hang on their every word. A hush descends, silencing the animated narration. In a moment of divine mystery, Jesus appears among them. His sudden manifestation leaves them in stunned silence. Under the radiant sun, Jesus leads his disciples, their faces etched with a mix of hope and uncertainty. Out of Jerusalem, through a serene olive grove, the disciples follow, their expressions a mixture of anticipation and apprehension as they leave the familiar walls of Jerusalem behind. Jesus halts, his voice resonating with divine purpose amidst the tranquil olive trees. Jesus instructs them, "Stay in Jerusalem until you receive the Holy Spirit." The disciples listen intently, their eyes fixed on Jesus, absorbing his sacred words in the peaceful grove. A palpable sense of anticipation fills the air as the disciples prepare to await the promised Holy Spirit in Jerusalem. On the Mount of Olives, Jesus, with a gentle smile, raises his hands to bless the disciples. A divine moment unfolds as Jesus begins his ascent into the heavens, his form rising gracefully. The disciples, their faces etched with profound awe, fix their gaze upwards, witnessing the miraculous ascension. Higher and higher, Jesus rises, the distance growing between the earthly and the divine. The disciples continue to watch, their simple features reflecting the magnitude of the event. The heavens open, welcoming Jesus into their embrace as the disciples remain in silent wonder. Against the vast expanse of the sky, Jesus begins to ascend, a figure of divine grace moving towards the heavens. Higher and higher he climbs, his form growing indistinct as he approaches the luminous clouds. Jesus vanishes completely, leaving behind only the shimmering sky and the memory of his ascent. Two angels materialize, their radiant wings catching the light as they appear in the heavens. The angels declare, "This same Jesus, who has been taken from you into heaven, will come back in the same way you have seen him go into heaven." The upper room is steeped in quiet anticipation as days pass. Disciples, men and women alike, kneel in prayer, their faces mirroring hope and uncertainty. Mary kneels among them, her expression a poignant blend of faith and doubt. Sunlight pierces the room, illuminating the dust motes that dance like fleeting dreams. The silence is punctuated only by the soft murmur of whispered prayers. The room is suddenly filled with a sound like a rushing wind, yet the air is still. Above their heads, tongues of fire flicker and dance, an impossible sight. A wave of awe and wonder washes over the disciples as the impossible becomes real. They are filled with the Holy Spirit, an unseen force taking hold. The disciples begin to speak in other languages, words flowing effortlessly from their lips. Jerusalem's streets buzz with life as people from every corner gather. Peter's voice soars above the crowd, echoing with fervent conviction. "Jesus is the Messiah," Peter proclaims, his words igniting the hearts of many. A wave of awe sweeps through the crowd as they listen, some nodding, others questioning. In a powerful display of faith, believers kneel, submitting to a sacred baptism. Joy erupts as new believers celebrate their faith, hands raised in jubilant praise.